Hi, good afternoon. Now, how is it just now? Again, exam has been postponed. See, that is expected, alva? That is expected because 7th there was at least 2 exams. That is expected. 14th agata sir adu agalla. Again, it must be 21st. So postpone ಆಗಿರೋದು ಒಳ್ಳೆದ ಕೆಟ್ಟದ? It is. See, how can you say it is ಕೆಟ್ಟದು? Okay, alva? First. Now, with respect to starting from I can say April 21st till when? Till July 21st. How many days left now? It is again 90 days. Again 90 days. Now, what should be a plan for this? What should be a plan for this? Online, good afternoon. Hope it is audible, visible. Yes. Now, with respect to 90 days plan, what should be a plan? This 90 days should be divided into 50 days. 50 days, that is exclusive mains. Exclusive mains, now no prelims. And this 40 days should be exclusive prelims. Yes or no? At least from February, you would have studied something related to prelims. Febinda, nothing but I can see you have studied in the month of March, in the month of April. At least you have studied, I can see, in and around 50 days with respect to prelims part. Now it is always a time to study about the 50 days exclusive mains. Now, sir, if it is exclusive mains, which all subjects to cover here? Which all subjects to cover here? Nothing but overlapping subjects should be covered. Overlapping subjects should be covered. Now, which all subjects in mains are overlapping? Yado overlapping ho. It is from first and foremost one. From I can say paper 1. From paper 1, it is always you should go for, no matter what, your essay part should be done within 10 to 15 days. Your essay part should be done within 1 week maximum. 1 week maximum. Yes, online. Okay. Sir, Kannadadalli heli sir ante. Okay. Yes. See, it is management has said it is 70-30. Okay, alva? Ishtal limit ಮಾಡೋಣ ಸಾಕು. Sir, ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ I can, but ಆದ್ರೆ ಬೇಡ. Yes, we need to manage both the English as well as Kannadadalli manage ಮಾಡೋಣ 70-30. It is more than sufficient. Second paper, that is called as paper 2. We call it as what? GS1. Now, GS1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೇನು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, at least you should cover the overlapping topics or overlapping subjects called as, at least you should cover history. Cover this part history because it is important from mains as well as a prelims part. Second, at least history ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ cover all the 3 histories. Cover all the 3 histories. Which all histories here? Don't say ancient. Ancient history ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ mains ಅಲ್ಲಿ. It is first and foremost one, it is art and culture. Art and culture from ancient, medieval and modern. Majorly with respect to art and culture, you should cover. The second major important one, it is, I can say which one? It is the modern history you need to cover. Modern history you must cover. Followed by the third major important one, Karnataka history. Karnataka history, ಇದನ್ನು cover ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು ನೀವು. Then these are first and foremost one, history ಇಂದ. Now second subject ಯಾವ್ದು ಸರ್ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ GS1 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? It is you must cover which one? Economy. You must cover economy part. Now with respect to economy part ಅಲ್ಲಿ, at least you should cover about the basics of, I can say, the planning ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? What are we planning? What are the sectors of economy? Sectors of economy, economic survey, budget. At least ಇದನ್ನು cover ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Again, that is overlapping alva? For both prelims as well as for mains, it will cover. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? This is sufficient. Followed by with respect to the GS2 or paper 3. GS2 ಅಥವಾ paper 3. GS2 ಅಥವಾ paper 3 ಏನು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? GS2 ಅಲ್ಲಿ. Which all things? Cover geography. Again, which all geography? Again, 3 parts of geography. ಯಾವ್ದು? One is always and always the world geography, followed by second major important one. Second major important one, it is Indian geography, Karnataka geography. ಮುಕ್ಷಿ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಕ್ಷಿ. ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಯು ಆರ್ ಕವರಿಂಗ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 60% ಮೇನ್ಸ್ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಇನ್ನು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ 40%. ಅಗೇನ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ದ ಮೇನ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಈ ಸತಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ 45 days. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರಾ? ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್ ಕವರ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿ. ಎನಿವೇಸ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಹಾಗೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಆನ್ಸರ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ. Extend that answer writing part with polity. Say prelims ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಲ್ವಾ, and that you should extend. And the same thing applies to the geography also. The same thing applies to the geography also. Yeah, exactly. So now I'll explain about freshers also. See, freshers ಅನ್ನೋದು ಮಾತೇನು ಬಂತಿಲ್ಲಿ, already at least 50 days ಓದಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ. Now you should go for means no matter what. ಇಲ್ಲಿ freshers veterans ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. No matter what, at least 50 days you should give exclusively. Sir, 50 days ಬೇಡ freshers ಅಂದ್ರೆ at least 40 days ಕೊಡಿ for this polity, for this geography. Again prelims ಅಲ್ವಾ ಇದು? Prelims as well as means again polity, cover polity about basic concept of polity like historical background ಬಗ್ಗೆ, preamble ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, fundamental rights ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, DPSP, parliament, all this you should cover. Next one, the next major important one, sir, ಪಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. Then which one should you need to cover? It is IR. Already current affairs ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? IR, international relations. Again cover this. Now which all parts come under IR? It is majorly with respect to UN bodies, majorly with respect to the regional organizations. Regional organizations includes which all things? Like BRICS, SCO, AUKUS. What is SCO? It is Shanghai Cooperation Organization. About BRICS ಬಗ್ಗೆ already ಓದಿದೀವಿ ನಾವು prelims ಅಲ್ಲಿ. But now go for answer writing practice. That should be extension or a continuous part. Apart SCO ಬಗ್ಗೆ, BRICS is nothing but the Brazil, the Russia, India, China and the South Africa. Again, do some research about all the things. For my next major important one, on ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ recent target is AUKUS. It is AUKUS andre. It is Australia, UK and USA. Do some research about this Quad agreement or new Quad Abraham Accord. See, hope you're getting what is my target or what should be your strategy. That is extension of your prelims part, and that extension should be this 50 days should be application of your prelims. Nothing but via answer writing practice. Via answer writing, the practice part. This is from our GS2 or which paper? It is paper 3. It is a paper 3. Followed by the fourth one, it is the GS3. It is paper 4. Paper 4 len ಓದಬೇಕು. Again 3 sections. Ali first and foremost section cover which one? Cover science and technology. Again extension of our current affairs part. Followed by which one? Followed by I can say sir natural science ಓದಬೇಕಂತ basic science. Again you can read this natural science also. Followed by you must study about which one? It is again environment and ecology. Again extension of prelims. See, ಓದಿರೋದನ್ನ you should never forget ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ you should study the same subjects from different approach point of view. Nothing but rather than reading exclusively factual ಓದೋ ಬದಲು now go for answer writing practice. Yes or no? Yes, do this. Followed by the last one, it is ethics and integrity. Again the essay as well as ethics, it is mandatory. No matter what you must study this paper. Nothing but which paper? Paper 5 or paper 5 or general studies 4 paper. Again illinda ಒಂದು ವಾರ. For this maximum is 1 week. For essay maximum 1 week. 500 marks ಮುಗ್ದೋಗುತ್ತೆ. 1 week or 10 days. 10 days for ethics, 10 days for essay, 20 days ಮುಗೀತು. ಇನ್ನು ಮಿಕ್ಕಿರೋ 30 days ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 5 days for history, 5 days for economics, 5 days for polity, 5 days for geography, 5 days for science and tech, and 5 days for environment. Mugit end of the game, 50 days. Nothing but you are covering in general, I can say each and everything, excluding in detail they know. What is left out main subjects here? Hardly. Paper 1 or GS1 in the NO. GS1 in the, it is post-independence history, post-independence as well as society. From which section? It is section 2 of GS1. Second one, section 3 now on BTV. Yado. It is RD. It is rural development. Idun BTV. It's okay. Adadme amme cover ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಣ. Followed by GS2 ಇಂದ GS2 ಏನ್ ಬಿಟ್ವಾ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು. It is PubAd. It is PubAd. Followed by GS3 ಇಂದ ಇನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ವಾ GS3 ಇಂದ to some extent it is natural science ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Yes, ಮುಗಿತಲ್ವಾ? You can cover this, and I've also given you the plan within 50 days how to cover this. Within 50 days how to cover, nothing but give 10 days. First Joshal iddaga you should go for essay and ethics. Essay and ethics part, that is 10 days. 10 days, nothing but essay. ಇದನ್ನ ಬಿಡ್ಲೇಬಾರ್ದು essay. Second one it is, ಇಲ್ಲಿ essay ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ there are two important topics. One is national and international importance. First part A. Part B will always be local issues or the state issues ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. State issues, this is international issues. Yes, ನಿಮ್ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ essay ಬರೀಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ essay ಒಂದಾದ್ರು ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ. It is more than 10 pages, more than 12 pages. ಯಾವುದು ವಾಟರ್ ಕ್ರೈಸಿಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರು, ಓಕೆ ಬರೀಬಹುದು, ಅದು ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಆಯ್ತು. ನೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಬರ್ದೀರಾ? ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಚುನಾವಣೆ, ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಸೈಮಲ್ಟೇನಿಯಸ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್, ಒನ್ ನೇಷನ್ ಒನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಬರೀಬಹುದು. 10 ಪೇಜ್ ಬರ್ದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ 100 ಪೇಜ್ ಬರೀಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟಾಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಪಿಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ ಏನ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ. ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಸ್ಕ್ ಎ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಆನ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಲಿಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಆರ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಸರ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಜನರಲ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಜಮಾನದ ಟಾಪಿಕ್, ಅದು 1990s ಜಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ದ ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಮಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ರಿಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದೀವಾ, ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಇದೀವಿ. ನಾಟ್ ಮಚ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಬಟ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಕ್ರೈಸಿಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ there can be possibility, but a question attend ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ you won't get much marks because it is too generalistic, because everyone will be attending such questions. Yes or no, hope you getting? But the question can be India at 2047, $5 trillion economy, Atmanirbhar Bharat, self-reliant India, the freebies concept of state government. Yes or no? The essay ಅಂದ್ರೆ the topic should be broader. The topic should be, it should have an impact on larger influence, not on particular sector. Bangalore urban crisis ಏನು or water crisis, it is majorly with respect to Bangalore ಅಷ್ಟೇ. It does not have an influence on, I can say, the other districts to some extent. ಹೌದು ಇಲ್ವೋ? Yes, you should write such topics. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ ಇಂದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬೇಜಾನ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. You should attend such questions, ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಟೆಕ್ ಇಂದ. ಯಾರು ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಆತರ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಮೋರ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್. Yes or no? Yes, essay, it is mandatory that it is maximum 10 days ಅಲ್ಲಿ. 10 days ಕೂತ್ರೆ essay part done. Yes, no. Second one it is within next 10 days, it is ethics and integrity. Again with the next 10 days, ethics and integrity. Again, ethics and integrity has 3 major important sections. Which all sections? 1, 2 and 3 are A, B and C. Yadap A. What is A? It is A section, you know. It is ethics and, I can say, ethics and essence anta. In general or introduction to ethics. Second one, integrity. The third one, it is aptitude. Alva. ಹೌದಾ? ಆಪ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಡ್. ಸರ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಸೇಮ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್, 80 or 85, 80 or 85 ಮುಗೀತು. ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಒಂದೋ ಎರಡೋ ಜಮಾನಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬಟ್ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿ ಪ್ಯಾಟರ್ನ್ ವಿಲ್ ನೆವರ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಯುವರ್ ಯು ಪಿ ಎಸ್ ಸಿ ಆದ್ರೆ 125 ಫ್ರಮ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ಸ್, 125 ಫ್ರಮ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್, ಓನ್ಲಿ ಒನ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್, ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್. ಸರ್ ಅದು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಲೆ ಕೆಡ್ಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾ? ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಏನಿದೆಯೋ ಅದನ್ನೇ ರಿವರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಬರ್ದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಸಾಕು. ಸರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಜೋಕಿಂಗ್, ಬರಿಬಿಡಿ ಹಂಗೆಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡೀಸ್. ಎಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ದ 20 days ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಸರ್ ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿಡ್ 30 days ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ 30 days, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 30 days, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 30 days. If it is 30 days ಇದ್ದಾಗ I need to go for 6 subjects. ಸರ್ ಹಂಗಲ್ 6 ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ 5 ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಏಮ್ ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ 5. ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಪಂಟ ಓದ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏಮ್ ಫಾರ್ 7 or aim for all. First and foremost, at least history you should cover. Anyways, ಓದಿದ್ದೀರಾ? Just updation part, updation, or going for answer writing you can go for history, you can go for economy from GS1, from GS2 in the ಮತ್ತೆ ಎರಡು geography ಮತ್ತೆ polity, geography and the polity part. From GS3 in the at least science and tech, and I can say environment and ecology, 2 subjects. ಇದ್ರ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ. ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸರ್ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಓದಿ. ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ. ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಪ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ. ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಫಾಲೋವಿಂಗ್ 2 months ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಬೇಡ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬೇಡ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ 50 days ಸಾಕು. 50 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 60 days ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, 60 ಅಂದ್ರೆ 70 ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಬೇಡ, 50 ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಸಾಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರಮ್ 21st ಇಂದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಮಂತ್ ಎಂಡ್ ವರ್ಗು, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೇ ಎಂಡ್ ವರ್ಗು ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಮೇನ್ಸ್. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೋಡೋಣ, ವಿಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇದರ್ ಇಂಟಿಗ್ರೇಟೆಡ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಒನ್. ಎಷ್ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅಷ್ಟು. ನೆವರ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್, ನೆವರ್ ಗೋ ಫಾರ್ ಹೈಬರ್ನೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ಈಸ್ಟಿವೇಷನ್. ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ? ಏನ್ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್? ಹೈಬರ್ನೇಷನ್ we got us the winter, ಇವಾಗೇನು ಶೆಕೆಗೆ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಎಸ್ಟಿವೇಷನ್. ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಮಾಡೋದೀಗ. ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಸ್ಟಿವೇಷನ್, ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ ಡಿಲೇಯಿಂಗ್. ಡಿಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಡೆತ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮುಗಿದ KPSC ಮರ್ತೋಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು, ಎವ್ರಿ ಒನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದಟ್ ನಿಮ್ಮಂಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೊಂಬೇರಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಅವೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ವಿನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಡನ್. Hope it is clear now with respect to a complete plan for the 50 days. Next 40 days we'll plan after this. After this, I can see the inclusive of the prelims or mains ಇರಬೇಕಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ಲೂಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ prelims ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಾ ಏನಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸರ್ ಫ್ರೆಶರ್ಸ್ ನಾವೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಫ್ರೆಶರ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಎಸ್, now for freshers, now go for freshers game. Go for as simple as that. Prelims with mains. Prelims with the mains part. Integrated one. But mains touch ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. It is mandatory. Okay, no. On this note, we'll start our economic survey. The economic survey. As already informed, the first chapter or the first few chapters that we call it as what? Introduction to economic survey. Introduction to which economic survey? Introduction to the Karnataka. Introduction to the Karnataka economic survey. Okay, alva. Now the first and foremost one, sir. Now why we need to go for economic survey? What is economic survey? First is, what is economic survey? Ili pantru veterans. Why we need to go for introduction of economic survey? And the third one here is which is the most important chapter? From Karnataka point of view? Pass online. Huh? Status of an economy. Now, first one, what is it? To know the status of an economy, which economy? It is a state's economy for which period of year? Which financial year? Is it the present year or the previous year? It is the previous year's data, it has been analyzed. The first and foremost one, ಏನು ಸರ್ economic survey ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the first and foremost one here is to know about the first and foremost definition, we call it as, what is economic survey is nothing but to know the status. What status? Updated status. Updated status about the economic concepts. Updated status about the economic concepts, or in general the state related concepts are being studied here. State related concepts are being studied here. Second one, who introduces this economic survey? Which department or which ministry will implement this? It is Ministry of Finance. Okay alva? Economic Affairs, Union alli, State alli. ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಫ್ರಂಟ್ ಪೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಓದಿದ್ರೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ. ಯಾರು? It is Department of Planning, a Program and Statistics. Yes or no? It is Ministry of and Ministry of Finance alla ಬರಬೇಕು. In general, Department of Revenue ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ, or in general specific ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it is nothing but what? Nothing but it is implemented by Department of Planning, comma program plus athwa and statistics department will implement this economic survey. Exactly online, I'm perfectly following this. Exactly, yes. It is in general, it is Directorate of Economics and Statistics. Every same. It is Directorate of Economics and the Statistics. Both are same. Now, is it mandatory? To implement this economic survey every year? Every year, is it mandatory? If it is mandatory, is it mentioned in Constitution to implement this? But the mandatory anta keltira? Then ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಈಗ. Who can question me? First, is it mandatory? Unlike budget, is budget mandatory to implement or introduce? ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕಾ? Budget is mandatory to introduce in which house? It is introduced always in lower house. Nothing but Lok Sabha, or I can say which one? State Legislative Assembly ಅಥವಾ ವಿಧಾನ ಸಭಾ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ವಿಧಾನ ಸಭಾ. ಸರ್ ವಿಧಾನ ಸಭಾ ಫಂಕ್ಷನಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. What can I do? Can I introduce an upper house? No. It is, they need to wait till the election or the new constitution of the, I can say the local, or I can say the lower house. The lower house done, and this concept of introduction of the budget has been mentioned in which article? Under Article 112. Under Article 112, we call it as Annual Financial Statement. AF, I can say yes, that is Annual Financial Statement. Nothing but the budget word is nowhere mentioned in the Constitution. Now, ಇದೇ ರೀತಿ, is it mandatory to implement or introduce economic survey? What do you think online? ಏನಂತೀರಾ? ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಅವರು ನೋಡಿ ಓದಿದ್ದು ನಿಮಗೆ ನೀವು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೋ ಬೇಡವೋ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಸರ್ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿನಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮ್ಯಾಂಡೇಟರಿ, ಬಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ is it mentioned in any of the codes ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ obviously no. But if it is no ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, from where does this power of introduction of economic survey has been derived ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it has been derived from where? Huh. It has been derived from accountability of whom? Accountability of the three pillars of the state. Three pillars of the state. Government Allah. Government yaru? It is government andre ivaru obbre. Whereas as soon as I say state, does media comes under definition of state? Fourth pillar alva. Does they come under the definition of state? No. Big no. Big no. See, Article 12 value and Article 36 does not define or does not mention media. And this media topic has been given up in various Supreme Court judgments. ಇಲ್ಲಿ executives ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ it is nothing but government. Now ಈ government accountability ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ how can we make them accountable? Via I can say two major important bills. One we call it as, I can say, the introduction of the budget or annual financial statement in general, and previous to this budget there must be a introduction of economic survey once in at least once in every financial year introduce ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು. Yes or no? ಈ ವರ್ಷ economic survey introduce ಮಾಡಿದಾರಾ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? No. But ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, at least once in a time they must introduce, I can say what? They must introduce the economic survey. Sir, ಯಾವಾಗ ಸರ್ introduce ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವಾಗ introduce ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಪ್ಪ? That is one day before to budget. ಯಾವಾಗ one day before ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is normally 31st January. Nothing but to hold this executive accountable to which house? Accountable to the legislature. Based on this concept, it is mandatory that we need to introduce economic survey based on convention. Based on convention we are following this concept, but it is mandatory to introduce I can say a bill with respect to introduction of economic survey. Okay, now first and foremost one. Second one is why we need to introduce this economic survey. Why? Exactly, to know about the status, to know about the developmental activities which has been taken up by the government in the previous year. The data of the previous year, it is the previous year's data which has been provided in economic survey. Budget ಯಾವ ಡೇಟಾ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ? Budget ಏನು? Futuristic data. That is nothing but they'll give a data with respect to 24-25 ಗೆ, but your data 23-24, 2023-24 data, or 2022 to 2023 data, 23 data, exactly last year's data. The previous year's data, it has been provided under economic survey. ನನ್ನ ಕೇಳಲೇ ಬರ್ದಿಲ್ಲಿ. It is nothing is mentioned in economic survey with respect to the futuristic thought. Now sir, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ okay, but in general ಆಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ this is completely think that this is, I can say I mean 2024 the futuristic data ಸಿಗತ್ತಾ ಸರ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ obviously no, it is expected data, or I can say visionary data for the year 2024 to 2025 which is provided in budget. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ this budget is considered to be a visionary data. This budget, I can say data, it is considered to be, I can say, visionary data of the government, visionary data of executives. Whereas ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಒಂದಿನಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, that is nothing what? That is nothing but, I can say, analyzing the previous trends. Analyzing the previous trends, growth rate increase ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ, decrease ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ, what is the FDI cost, fiscal deficit ಎಷ್ಟು, inflation ಎಷ್ಟು, pricing mechanism ಎಷ್ಟು, GDP growth rate ಎಷ್ಟು, GVA ಎಷ್ಟು, GNP ಎಷ್ಟು, all this data for the previous terms are being provided in economic survey. Okay alva? Yes, this in general you should know. Sir, ಹೆಂಗ್ ಸರ್ ನಾ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ we will be discussing majorly with respect to different chapters Our Karnataka Economic Survey, it has been divided into how many chapters? It has divided it into 13 chapters. Nothing but what? This 13 chapters deals with the different themes. Nothing but 13 different themes. 13 different themes. So 13 different themes ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ starting from introduction, followed by introduction, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ introduction ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ. Introduction. Second one will be discussing about fiscal deficit. We'll be discussing about investment, export ಬಗ್ಗೆ. We'll be discussing about urban development, or first is rural development, urban development. Followed by what? Followed by human development issues, health, education. Followed by skill, agriculture, industries, allied sector, SDG. Nothing but what? Nothing but different, I can say different sectors are being discussed in, I can say various chapters are being discussed in various chapters. We call it as what? We call it as a compiled document called as economic survey. Compiled document called as economic survey. And nani lane ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ that is final. And that they need to ask in your exam also. Because next year or go, whatever the data which has been given by government, that is final. Final and binding on all the agencies also. Final and the binding on all the agencies. Sir, idu final and binding andre, sir, ಅವರು misrepresentation ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ? If it is growing at 6% ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು 8% ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಡಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ವಾ? ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? If that is the case, that is being questioned by whom? Questioned by the house, that is lower house. We will be establishing a particular dedicated committees to look after this data, to look after this economic survey. Yes, cheating ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? They will embarrass you. They will embarrass you via a question R. Yes. Then ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ now the first and foremost chapter, we will be discussing about what is state income. We'll be discussing about what is prices. Followed by we'll be discussing about topic or a concept called as inflation. ಈ ಮೂರು topics ಇಂದ one question fix. Or in general, majority of the questions come from this first chapter. Why first chapter, sir? Because this first chapter is a summary of all the 13 chapters or all the 12 chapters. This first chapter consists of all the integrated data of all the 12 chapters. Exactly perfect. Yes. Okay, done. Okay, Meenakshi, I have taken your query, but in last ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. Okay, next one, the next major important one, it is the first and foremost concept. The basic concept here is, what do you mean by GDP? GDP andre ಏನು? Now, who provides GDP data, and once in what term this data is being provided? This data is being provided. First thing, what is GDP? What is GDP? Money value of all the goods and services produced. Okay. Now GDP ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It is gross domestic product. Now what do you mean by gross? As simple as the total. Now what do you mean by total? Gross is nothing but the total. What is total here? Total here is, I can say, the total goods and services. Goods kuda, at the same time services kuda. The total goods and services which is produced where? Which is produced within, I can say, territory alva. Now what do you mean by domestic? Domestic is nothing but a territory. And what territory here? It is, what do you mean by territory? Now GDP ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು. We are not talking about state, I can say GDP. We are talking about territory is nothing but what? I can say territory called as India. Territory called as India. Territory called as India. Third one, a product. If it is product, this should be calculated for a particular period of time. And that particular period of time, it can be monthly, it can be quarterly, once in 3 months. It can also be, I can say 6 months. It can also be 1 year also. But calculating GDP, it is costlier affair. It is time consuming also. Adukoskara, it is calculated. It is calculated based on convention. That is once in how many years? It is once in 1 year. Once in a year. Nothing but what? Illadi. GDP is nothing but the gross. Gross is nothing but the total. The total, the goods and services which is produced within the territory of India within a particular time period, and that time period based on convention we call it as 1 year. 1 year. ನಿಮಗೆ GDP ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. Does it include intermediary goods? No. GDP is always and always what? The final goods. Second one, does it include the contribution done by Indians in foreign territory? Does it include the contribution done by Indians? You think that I've been working in West Asia or USA, is it included or not? No. That is within the domestic territory of India. See, domestically, does it include the foreign citizens who are working in India? Yes, obviously yes. If a USA person is working in India, it is calculated under GDP. Calculated under GDP. Now, whatever the GDP which is being produced within the territory of India, is it always and always Indians or both? It is Indians as well as the non-citizens, nothing but foreigners, and within time period we call it as costlier alone. Calculating across sectors within, I can say within 1 year we are going for it. Now, last question here is, now does it include agriculture products? Goods and services actually. Does it include agricultural, I can say crops? Paka? Yes. Obviously under goods as well as services, it also includes the primary sector. It also includes the primary sector in general or agriculture in specific. Agriculture in a specific. Okay, alva. Now sir, idu namma ondu country gaitu. Now what is the calculation method which has been present? What is the calculation method which is present with respect to, I can say state. State yenide? It is gross state domestic product. Gross, the state domestic product, state and nothing but restricted particular state. It can be the state of Karnataka, state of Maharashtra, state of, I can say Andhra, state of Telangana, Bihar, UP. Nothing but it is a total. It is a total, the final goods and services which is produced within the territory of a state within a particular period. Within a particular period, normally it is what year? Normally it is, I can say 1 year period. Normally it is 1 year period, 1 version. Now idella aadmele sir ee data na yaar release ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? CSO. It is CSO jamanದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಯ್ತಲ್ಲ 2018 ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಯ್ತು. It is now CSO as well as NSSO has been merged into a, I can say, the nodal agency called as NSO, and this has been merged on whose recommendations? This has been merged. Exactly, perfect. Exactly. Online. Perfect. Happy. Okay. It is NSO. Now NSO now, it has been merged by, I can say, the two important organizations. One is CSO and NSSO. What is CSO? Central Statistical Office for by National Sample Survey Organization. It has been merged and we have established the National Survey Organization. National, I can say, Statistical Organization, which is functioning under which ministry? It is Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. It is Ministry of SPI anta. It is Statistics and Program Implementation. SPALA. Okay, it is SPI. ಅದೇ ಧ್ಯಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು? ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಇರಂತದೆ. On whose recommendations? On whose recommendations has been merged? It is on the recommendation of Rangarajan committee recommendations. How do you know? On the recommendation of the Rangarajan committee recommendations. See, economy and il concept ಏನಂದ್ರೆ economics sir ಓದಕ್ಕೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಬೇಕು ನಿಮಗೆ. ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ. We'll see how to study economic survey. Done. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ I have taken the data exactly from the original economic survey. Rather than modify ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ I have taken the exact copies. We'll see all those things. Now, second major important one. Now, what is the contribution? What is the contribution? Now, what is the contribution of India's GDP? India's GDP is approximately how many trillions? Approximately approximately right? $3 trillion. $3 trillion rupees Allah. $3 trillion. $3 trillion. But our target here is to achieve. It is 5 trillion by yavaga? By 2025. By 2025, ಈ ಒಂದು 3 trillion ಅಲ್ಲಿ. But what is the contribution of Karnataka? The contribution of Karnataka, it is, I can say, the less than 10%. Less than 10%. There is good number antandre. Obviously, it's good number. If we take, I can say, 28 states and 8 union territories nodadadre, comparatively, it is more than average. More than average. But example kelidre, the contribution is less than 10% or specific it is 8.4%. It is 8.4%. This is the first and foremost concept. Okay, now this is the first one. The second major important topic you must know here is what do you mean by current prices and what do you mean by constant prices. ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಡೇಟಾ ಸರ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಗಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ನಾವು? ಇದು ಎರಡೇ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ನಮಗೆ. ಏನಂತ ನೋಡೋಣ. ನಾವು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಇದು ನೋಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಮುಂಚೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ, ವಾಟ್ ಡೂ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಡೇಟಾ ಇಂದ. ಬಟ್ ಈ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಾ ಸರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು. Now before to this, what do you mean by current prices? What do you mean by constant prices? ಪಟ್ಟಂತ Southern best by Karnataka. ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. Southern best by Karnataka ante. Okay, one of the best is Karnataka I can say, but Southern best ಆಗಿರೋದು ಅಂತಲ್ಲ. It is the Southern best is with respect to human development ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ it is Kerala. With respect to economy size ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ it is Maharashtra. Economic size ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is Maharashtra. Sir, politics ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಆಂಧ್ರ ಪ್ರದೇಶ್. Regionalism ಅಲ್ಲಿ it is Tamil Nadu. Regionalism, it is Tamil Nadu or Dravidian movement. Movement. Okay, long. Now, what is current prices? Really, Patan, what is current prices? Nothing but the present year prices. The present year prices, if you are calculating based on base year, we call it as what? Now, on ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಾದ್ರೆ ನೀವು, ಸರ್ ನಾವು ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರ ಹೇಳಿ. Now, which prices will be higher? Current prices or constant prices? It is current prices, we call it as the present year prices. How the present year prices? Now think that the present year price of this pen is, I can say in general hypothetical nodadadre, think that this is 10 rupees. This is 10 rupees. But adre, if I am calculating, I can say the present year prices, and if I am comparing it with the base year. Now, what is the base year for GDP? GDP calculation. It is 2011-12 is the base year. 2011-12 is the base year for NSO or with respect to calculation of GDP. Now, sir, ಯಾವ ಜಮಾನದಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವರು? ಇನ್ನ 2011-12 ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. We are in 2024. Why are we calculating it as? Why are we calculating based on 2011-12 with respect to base year? Why 11-12? Because 11-12 it is considered to be the stable prices. It constant Allah. To some extent the prices were stable. Now we are comparing, though I can say the pen. Now think that the pen cost during 2011 e pen 2 rupees or 2 rupees. It was stable. It must be lesser alva. It is 2 rupees during 11-12. Now in reality ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, in reality what is the growth rate? What is the growth rate with respect to constant prices ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ? It is difference ಅಲ್ವಾ? Difference here is it has increased by how much percentage? It has increased by how much percentage? It is increased by rupees 8. But ಆದ್ರೆ current price ಎಷ್ಟು ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ? 10 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದೆ. Which is good? Which is good? Constant is good or current is good? Both are good. Obviously both are good. Sir, idare good. This is good with respect to people. This is good with respect to politicians. To show that the economy is growing at a higher percentage. Sir, if it is growing at a higher percentage, idu matra yak higher ide antandre? It includes what? It includes inflation. It includes inflation, whereas illi by calculating with respect to the base year or the staple prices, we are excluding what? We are excluding the impact of inflation. We are excluding I can say the impact of inflation. Exactly, perfect. Yes, online I'm following. Inflation kammi irutte, obviously yes. Inflation kammi irutte, we are excluding inflation. We are, I can say, excluding the inflation targets. Done. Now on this basis, shall we see the data? Now the first and foremost data it is, I can say which one? The first and foremost data it is the current prices, and the second one we call it as constant prices. In the current prices and the constant prices, which one will show higher growth rate? It must be yadu constant prices. Example basic question keltare. ನಿಮಗೆ ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆಯೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ ಅಂತ. ನಾವು ಸೀದಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್. ಒಂದು 30 ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸರ್ ಏನೇನು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಜೇಮ್ಸ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. Okay, we'll see state income of Tamil Nadu ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಈಗ ಹೇಳ್ರ ಪಟ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ? Which is important here? Now which data should I need to observe? See, first I need to observe your parameters. ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Then parameters ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. Should I need to mug up this? I can say crores. That is gross state domestic product. ಬೇಡವಲ್ಲ? ಬೇಡ. Second one, should I need to study about a growth rate percentage of the state? ಬೇಕಾ? Obviously ಬೇಕಿದು. With respect to crores ಬೇಕಾ? ಬೇಡ. Third one, the growth rate of GDP and the Indus. This is the Karnataka and this is the Indus part, followed by the last one we call it as the difference. Now sir, should I need to mug up from 2011 to 23-24 ವರೆಗೂ? ಮತ್ತೆ ಏನ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ I can say 2011 ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ I can say 2022 and 2023. Now what is the growth rate with respect to India? What is the growth rate with respect to India during this period 22-23 ಅಲ್ಲಿ? It is 14.8% growth rate ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಿದೆ. Whereas state ಎಷ್ಟು? Exactly, it is the state as well as the India's. Okay, now India's is 16.1, whereas states is 14.8. Now which was running at, I can say, which was running at higher growth rate? It's India's. Difference is still difference here is it negative or positive? Now we are thinking from or we are studying from our state perspective alva. It is negative. Because ಏನಕ್ಕೆ? Because states is lesser, whereas India's I can say the growth rate is higher at current prices. at current prices. Sir, idu important andandre idu important illa. But most important one here is the previous years. The previous years, what the growth rate of Karnataka? Example keltare. The growth rate of Karnataka on current basis. Current basis, it is this two. 10.2, whereas nodi. It is 8.9. The difference will be positive or negative? It must be positive. It must be positive because the state's contribution is more compared to India's contribution. Compared to the India's contribution. This is, I can say, horizontal one. This is horizontal alva. Shall we check vertical? Vertical nodbeko ilvo? And state nodona vertical. Now, is it showing increasing trend or is it showing decreasing trend? Decreasing trend. Comparatively nodadadre. Comparatively nodadadre. What is it? It is showing what trend? It is showing what trend? It is showing a decreasing trend. Can you see them? Color. It is showing a decreasing trend. It is showing a decreasing trend. It is showing decreasing trend. How will you know? It is 14.8 in the. It has reduced the growth rate to 10.2. Sir, 14.8% ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸರ್ ಇತ್ತು 2022 ಅಲ್ಲಿ? That is recovery from COVID. Recovery from COVID, highest I can say the growth rate followed by gradually declining. Gradual declining. Increased growth rate, decreased growth rate, what we call it as? It is, I can say the increase agadu, decrease agadu nodadre, we call it as because of the impact of what? I can say base effect in the because of the impact of base effect. Base ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? It base year because of base year impact. Second one ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. Again decrease. Nothing but example in statement ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Compared to 22 and 23-24, the growth rate of Karnataka as well as the state has declined. Right or wrong? Yes. With respect to, if they ask you a question on, consider the following statement with respect to the 23-24. The growth rate of Karnataka is more compared to India's growth rate. Is it right or wrong? Right or wrong? Obviously yes. Now, idu bitre the difference with respect to, I can difference with respect to GDP as well as GSDP of 22 and 23. It is negative. Is it right or wrong? Right. Yes. Okay, alva. Then you must know this. See, rather than mugging up all this content, you must observe. Un ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ time ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನೋಡಿ data ನೆಲ್ಲ. This is the first and foremost one we call as the table 1.1. The table 1.1 with respect to nothing but 1.1 andre 1 is chapter 1 and 1.1 is the first table. The table. Yes. Okay, alva. On this basis, second table ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಸರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋರು ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾತ್ರ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇನ್ನೇನು ಹೇಳಿ ನಾನು? ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಡನ್. ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸರ್ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಿದೆ ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. ಓಕೆ, see, V-shaped is completely different. V-shaped recovery, K-shaped recovery, Z-shaped recovery, W-shaped recovery, that is completely different. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಟ್ ನೋಡೋಣ, ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ I'll discuss. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಡನ್. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ರ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಸರ್? ಓಕೆ, done. Yes. Okay, now what is this? Now under this Now we know about what is constant prices, nothing but comparing our present year data with respect to what year? That is the 2011-12, nothing but the base year. The base year. Now the first and the foremost one again you should check about with respect to n nodbekilli. First you should know about what table is this. Second one will be about parameters. ಈ parameters ಅಲ್ಲಿ this is year. Second one ನನಗೆ rupees ಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡ. Third one should I need to study about the GSDP ಬೇಕು in percentage obviously yes. Rupees ಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡ. Followed by ನೀವು ಹಿಂಗೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ವೆಲಿ. Okay, just a glance. Next one, the growth rate of GDP followed by the difference rate. Now 23-24 ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ 22 as well as 23. Now what is the I can see growth rate of India and growth rate of Karnataka. Growth rate of Karnataka ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ it was 8.1%. Karnataka's, whereas India's was 7.2. Now ಅಲ್ಲೇ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ the India's growth rate was highest compared to the state. If you are going for the present year calculation, whereas if you are going for constant prices, it is positive. What does it shows? What does it shows? ಮೊದಲು ನೀನು ಹೇಳಬೇಕು. ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ? Whereas ಅಲ್ಲಿ it was negative in 2022 ಅಲ್ಲಿ it was negative in nominal basis or current year prices, whereas constantly it is showing positive. What does it shows? It shows that inflation was highest in Karnataka. Inflation was highest. First thing, ಇಲ್ಲಿ positive. Second one with respect to 23 ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ 23 it is 6.6%, highly important one. Exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ direct questions ಇರುತ್ತೆ. It is 6.6% with respect to the growth rate of Karnataka, whereas India's ಏನು it is more, nothing but ಏನು it is negative. It is 0.7%. The 7% that is running at negative. Okay ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, it is Karnataka's GSDPs. The growth rate of Karnataka is 2. It is 6.6, whereas nation though it is 7.3 based on 23-24 data. 2023-24 data prakara. Is it positive or negative? It must be negative because India's growth rate is highest compared to Karnataka's growth rate. It is 6.6, only 7.3. 7.3. This is the first one. Second one is vertical. Vertical ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ is it positive or negative? Which is positive and which is negative? This one it is negative, declining trend. Whereas ಇಲ್ಲಿ it is increasing trend. Whereas current ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿತ್ತು? Currently both are decreasing, whereas illi that is the India, the nation's GDP is I can say showing an increasing trend, or I can say increasing trend, that is to some extent gradually increasing, whereas illi it is declining. Gradually it is declining compared to 22 and 23. Yes, in ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ ಯಾವ ಬೇಡ ನನಗೆ ಡೇಟಾ ಸರ್, ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಅವ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ? ವೈ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದ ಡೇಟಾ. At least from base year till the present. They need to maintain data. Yes, and to bring in transparency also. Next one, the next major important one. It is the sectors. Now, what do you mean by the sectors? What do you mean by sectors? Sectors ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? Online, exactly, comparative analysis. ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay. Now, what do you mean sectors? It is different fields or different areas or the different contributions to the field of, I can say GDP. GDP ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ field ನ ದುಡ್ಡು ಬರ್ತಿದೆ, or the monetary activity which has been received from the different activities. We call it as sectors. Now the sectors are being divided into how many sectors? Is it 3 or 5? 5 or 3? It is economic survey method, it is always 3. Economic survey method is always 3. In general ಮಾತಾಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ 5. Sir, 5 ಯಾವ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, one is primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, quinary. Yes, as simple as that. Primary, secondary, tertiary, quaternary, or quinary. Primary is nothing but what? Primary is nothing but, is it nothing but agriculture? Andre illa. Second one, does secondary mean in industries? Alla. What is tertiary? Services? Baribada? Yes. Done. Now what is quaternary and quinary? Don't take on again. Now so primary antandre, that is, I can say, a livelihood or an activity which is involved in direct extraction of resources directly from the nature. We call it as the primary resources. Direct earth extract madidre, we call it as what? We call it as the primary resources. Example kodtira, agriculture bittu, mining bittu. Mining, it is not a primary activity in Karnataka. It's a secondary. Animal husbandry bittu. It is fishing, followed by forestry. Yes, all this comes under the primary activity. Now, this primary activity extract ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, if we are undertaking any processing ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Value addition part. Value addition, a processing ಆದ್ರೆ, take an example of textile. This textile, or I can say the silkworm is being converted in textile or dresses. This we call it as industries or manufacturing agents or value addition add agide. Value addition has been done, we call it as secondary activity. This secondary activity ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಮನೆ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವ ಶರ್ಟ್ ನ? Yes or no? Transportation followed by retailers, marketing. All this comes under, I can say, tertiary activity. All this comes under the tertiary activity. Quaternary and quinary andre ಏನು? All these are recently advanced concepts. Recently advanced concepts. ಏನಪ್ಪ quaternary ಮತ್ತೆ quinary ಅಂದ್ರೆ? Quaternary ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ನಾವು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ರಿಸರ್ಚ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? R&D ಆಗ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? R&D ಯಾರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? R&D, that is research and development. Research and the development comes under which one? That is quaternary sector. Quaternary sector, examples kodi nodoಣ. That is first and foremost coaching institutes. Yes or no? Then adal nanu first. Just joking. It is R&D, first and foremost R&D years, we call it as scientist. It can be ISRO scientist. It can be provision or I can say manufacturing of vaccinations. Manufacture agabekandre we need to go for testing alva. That is being tested by, I can say, biopharmacist or I can say the scientist, followed by the doctors. All this comes under really. It is R&D, knowledge sector. Followed by ivrneಲ್ಲ maintain ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ? Who will handle this? It is handled by quinary sector. Quinary a sector. It is quinary sector. Sir, example kodi antandre, it includes CEOs, it includes MDs, it is government officials. All this comes under the quinary sector. Nothing but top executives, the top officials of the country comes under quinary sector. Policy making body, regulatory body comes under quinary sector. Now sir, economic survey ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ, we will be restricting it to only 3 things. Sir, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇವೆರಡು ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it has been merged into services sector. Sector. Exactly. Now next major important one. Next major important one. Now what are different? I can say the collar jobs. Primary ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಕಾಲರ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು, ಟರ್ಷರಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವುದು? First ಯಾವ ಕಾಲರ್ ಜಾಬ್ಸ್? With respect to a people who are involved in primary sector, we call it as the red collar jobs. Red collar ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಕಾಲರ್ ರೆಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Yes or no? Nothing but ಏನು? See, collar red ಅಲ್ಲ. It is nothing but they are involved in manual activity. Manual activity we call it as red collar jobs by working in extreme weather and extreme climatic conditions, and they are called as red collar jobs. ಅವರು ಬೆವರು ಸುಸಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಸರ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದವ್ರು ಮಾಡಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸೋಮರಿ ಹೇಳು ಅಂತ. As I move from primary to I can say quinary, somebody will increase. Yes or no? Or somebody percentage will increase, or growth rate of somebody will increase. Secondary collar jobs we call as what? We call it as the blue collar jobs. Blue collar jobs. Exactly. Red collar antandre nothing but, or I can say the people who are involved in manual labor. That is working in extreme climatic conditions anta. Extreme climatic conditions. Sir, industrial work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, manufacturing work ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, they call us what? The blue collar jobs. Notice normally when you are working in industries, they are being given ಯಾವ color shirt? It is normally blue. Normally the blue color shirt. ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ blue color. ನಾನು ಜೋಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Normally blue. For by services white and white like politicians. Yes, it is white collar jobs. ನೋಡಿದಿರಲ್ವಾ ಶೋಕಿಗೆ ಬಸ್ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಪ್ರನ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ. ಸರ್ ಅವ್ರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಅವ್ರು ನರ್ಸಸ್. ಅವರು ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ಟಿರಾ? ಓಕೆ. ಆರ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇದರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅಷ್ಟೇ. PU ಮೋದಿ ಒಂದು ಏನಂತಾರೆ 1-2 years ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾರ್ಮಲಿ ನರ್ಸಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫಾರ್ಮಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಅವ್ರು ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ. Next one, what collar jobs with respect to? What collar jobs with respect to the quinary? Quinary genu, quaternary genu. Now quaternary ge again sir collar jobs idi andre they are called as white collar jobs. Jobs. And the last one we call it as the gold collar jobs. The gold collar jobs. Yes. Exactly. It is gold collar jobs. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಟ್ಟು traditionally we were considered to be, I can say, women centric jobs ಅಂತ. ಯಾವುದು women centric jobs? We call it as pink collar jobs. Pink collar jobs ಏನೇನು? Pink collar jobs ಅಂದ್ರೆ it is nursery, teaching, all this were considered to be what? Traditionally it was considered to be female centric jobs ಅಂತ. Female centric jobs we call it as the pink collar jobs. We call it as the pink collar jobs. Now, and all this we call it as sectors. Now, these sectors though growth rate ಹೆಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, we should know about what is the composition. Now, out of this ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ 3 ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ mining comes under which sector? Mining comes under secondary, primary. ಪಕ್ಕನಾ? Now, with respect to union economic survey discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ it is primary. If we are discussing with respect to Karnataka economic survey, it is secondary. Sir, ಏನಿದು? ಏನು ಅಲ್ಲ ಅದು. It is direct extraction of resources ಇದ್ರೆ we call it as primary. If you are undertaking processing, nothing but what? Nothing but I can say secondary. ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನಿಲ್ಲ, nothing but in Karnataka we are not exporting iron ore or ore na export ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Rather we are exporting, I can say, finished products. Nothing but processed product. Processed a product via the port of either Marmagua or Mangalore port. Via Mangalore port, it is majorly known for exporting of I can say the mining minerals. The mining of minerals. Okay, mining minerals. Done? Yes or no? Yav sector or Karnataka, which sector is contributing to the maximum services? Gotthu nimge. Second question ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಹೇಳಿದಲ್ಲ first question for Josh. Second question exam ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. Which sector is showing a decreasing growth rate and which sector is showing a maximum growth rate? ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. Agriculture, it is negative. Yes, negative. It is in and around less than 2% or in and around 2%. Which is showing maximum growth rate? Services? Okay, alva. Ange ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ ನೋಡಿ. Now this data ಇಲ್ಲಿ major important one it is 1.3. Now with respect to 1.3 we have major important one it is I can say three important sectors. The three important sectors observe ಮಾಡಿ ಏನೇನು observe ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. Now you should be at a faster pace. AI ತರ ಇರಬೇಕು ನೀವೀಗ. You should work at faster pace. Hardly hit ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಈಗ. Only 2 points. Now which is that 2 point you should know here? It is ಹೀಗಿದಂತ important. ಇದು ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. These important parameters as well as the table or index important. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ್ದು ಓದಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? You must know only and only a table it is 1.3. Table it is 1.3. What is 1.3? Sectoral growth rate. Sectoral growth rate of GSDP at what prices? Constant prices. Alle kottidare nodi. Constant prices. What constant prices? 11 and 12. Economics sir odu gottagtide ಈಗ. ಕಥೆ ಪುರಾಣ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. You should know how to analyze the I can say table. Analyze the table. Now ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನ ಕಥೆ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ only two things. One thing here is with respect to agriculture. Second thing here is with respect to industries. Sir, services ilvalla illi antandre next slide idate. Continuation part. Now under this the first and foremost one, if we talk about 22, 23, 24 or 22 and 23, now what is the contribution illi? Contribution ನೋಡಿ ಏನು ಅಂತ? It is now in 2022 ಅಲ್ಲಿ it was positive, but ಈ last year ನೋಡಿ, last year it has shown a declining trend of what percentage? It is minus 1.8%. ಏನಕ್ಕಪ್ಪ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್? Because Karnataka is reeling under ಏನು? It is drought. ಮಳೆ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಬರಗಾಲ ಫೇಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ವಿ. Yes, it is because of drought. First and foremost one. Second major important one industry ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸರ್ ಇಷ್ಟೇನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇಷ್ಟು ಗೊತ್ತಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Second major important one it is industry sector. Now industrial sector ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿತ್ತು? 3.8 ನೋಡಿ it is in and around double ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. We can analyze also this. It is in and around it is doubling alva. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Yes, it is increased to 7.5% growth rate of industrial sector. Sir, why it is showing a doubling? I can say the growth rate. In it double ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. Shift. It is during COVID there were shutdown of industries, but now it is showing a recovery of industries. ಈ ರಿಕವರಿ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದಾನೆ more employment, more salaries, more inflation. Hope you getting? Yes, ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ನಾನು ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಪ್ಪ, ಈಗ ನಾನು ಒಬ್ಬನೇ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಾ? ಎಸ್, ನಿಮ್ಮಂತವ್ರನ್ನ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು? ಕಾಲೇಜ್ ಬಿದ್ದಿರೋರ್ನ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್. ಎಸ್ ಆರ್ ನೋ? ಎಂಪ್ಲಾಯ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲರೀಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲರೀಸ್ ನೀವು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ? ಶನಿವಾರ ಭಾನುವಾರ ಆದ್ರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ? ಎಸ್, ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ, ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಾ. ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ದ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ nothing but it is showing a recovery trend. At the same time, it is also leading to inflationary trend also. Inflationary a trend also. Now sir, now ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಿದೆ ಈಗ. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಆಗ್ತಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಈ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ which is that sector which is leading to negative, which is that sector under agriculture which is leading to negative. ಯಾವ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್? It is majorly two important sectors. ಯಾವ್ದು? It is the first and foremost one ನೋಡಿ. First and foremost one negative. Maximum is this crops. Maximum is the crop productivity has declined. Crop productivity has declined. ಈ ವರ್ಷ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಯಾವುದು? It is fishing. Maximum negative ಯಾವ್ದು ತೋರಿಸ್ತಿರೋದು? It is crops. Which crops? Cereal crops. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? Don't you think there will be a question on this year? In fact, ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಷ question ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Which is the largest producing district of rice? Raichur. Yes or no? And ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊಡ್ತಾ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ ಅಂತ ರಾಯಚೂರಲ್ಲೇ. Because of semi-arid region, because of lesser water content in Tungabhadra dam. ಹೌದೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಎಸ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇದು ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾವ್ದು ಸರ್ ಡ್ರಾಗ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಹೋಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ because of two major important things. One is with respect to drought region and the second one ಈಗ ಫಿಶಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ ಫಿಶಿಂಗ್ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಸಂಬಂಧ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ from where are we getting maximum fishes? It is inland and already ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡಿದೀನಿ. It is with respect to allied sector ಅಲ್ಲಿ maximum fishes are coming from inland. If there is no water ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತೆ? Okay. Now the first and foremost one was our agriculture allied sector, and second one was industrial sector. Now agriculture allied ali it is showing negative trend or it is showing a declining growth rate with respect to sector. Second one it is showing a doubling, approximately double ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಸರ್ ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಕಾರಣಗಳು? whereas ಇದು ಡಿಕ್ಲೈನ್ ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನ್ ಕಾರಣ? ಮೇಜರ್ ರೀಸನ್ is the crops. Which crops? Majorly the cereal crops. Second major important reason it is the fishing sector. It is 4.6, that is minus 4.6. Now in question ಕೇಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ what is the rank of Karnataka with respect to inland as well as marine fishing? It is 7th and 5th. ಯಾವ್ದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ? 5th ಯಾವ್ದು 7th ಯಾವ್ದು? 5th and 7th. Srinivas. 5th inland. It is 7th is marine. 7th is the marine one. Exactly. ಇಲ್ಲ reverse. ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕೊಡೋದು. Is it 5th and 7th ಓದಿರ್ತೀರಾ ಸರ್? ಟೂ ಡಿಫರೆನ್ಸ್. Is it marine or inland? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕೀಗ. It is 5th is first and foremost ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, always marine. This is inland. Now second major important ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಸರ್ if it is doubling, if it is showing a doubling trend, now ಏನು ಡಬಲ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ? which sector is leading to doubling? ಮೇಜರ್ catalyst ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ? ನೋಡಿ ಪಟ್ ಅಂತ. which one? It is major catalyst here is which one? It is 9.7 ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ? It is major with respect to mining and quarrying. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ನೋಡಿ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವ ಈಗ? yes or no? Direct questions. Livestock, forestry, crops and fishing comes under primary sector. followed by all this comes under secondary sector. ಹಂಗೆ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ ಏನೇನೆಲ್ಲ ಉಲ್ಟಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಒನ್, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 9.7. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಗ್ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಬರೋದು 8.2. second biggest it is from, I can say, construction activity which is the second major important one. So ಮೂರನೇದು ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಾವು ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕ್ತಿವಿ. electricity generation ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. We are talking about electricity generation, not providing electricity service. Electricity generation, gas supply, the water supply, processed water. All this comes under which sector? Secondary sector. All this comes under secondary sector. Example direct questions ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. Already question ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ question ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸರಿ, ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ already they asked a question on this manufacturing, mining ಮೇಲೆ question ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, mining and quarrying. They asked a question on livestock, forestry, fishing, all this. Done? Okay alva? Now the third major important one, ಹೇಳಪ್ಪ, ಏನು ಡೌಟ್? Okay alva? Now the third major important one, observe this. Services sector. Obviously construction comes in secondary sector. ಇನ್ನೆಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Yes or no? Production alva? Production or construction activity comes under secondary sector. Yes. See, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ what is your work area, at least you should know the in detail activities. ನೋಡೋಣ ಈಗ. ಡನ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? Now third major important one, ಏನು ಸರ್ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, the third major important one here is, I can see the services sector. A sector, is it showing a positive trend or negative trend? It is, I can say, it is showing a declining trend. Negative ಅಲ್ಲ, it is showing a declining trend. Example ಇದನ್ನೇ ಕೇಳೋದು, ನಿಮ್ಗೇನು ಪಂಟ್ರಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು? ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸರ್. See, contribution with respect to sector it is highest. That does not mean that sector is growing. ಇವೆರಡು ನನ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ? ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಗ್ರೋತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ rather than sectoral contribution. Sectoral contribution ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು, more than 65% contribute, I can say, services sector. Whereas secondary ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 25, ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 13% around it is by primary sector. ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಬಟ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is growth rate. It is the growth or rate during COVID-19 time only, because of services it was booming. Only services sector were booming. Whereas after 2022 it must decline, it must show a decreasing trend. It is showing a decreasing trend. Now ಈ ಮೂರು sector ಅಲ್ಲಿ which is positive? It is industrial sector. ಅದು ಒಂದೇ booming, nothing but doubling. The growth rate is showing a doubling trend. Now sir, ಇದು 8.7% ಬರೋದ ಕಾರಣ ಏನು? It must be a contribution, it is coming from the different sectors. Contribution from different. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is nothing but contribution should reduce. ಯಾವ್ದು reduce ಆಗ್ತದೆ ನೋಡಿ ಈಗ. It is ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ yeah, exactly, contribution is increasing day by day, but that does not mean that it is showing a positive growth rate. It does not mean that it is showing a positive trend. Exactly, perfect. Online, I hope you got I can see the answer for the science and tech class. See, science and tech first and second class was open for all, but ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ it was paid class. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಲಿಂಕು ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಏನಪ್ಪ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್? ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡಿದ್ರ? Okay, no, done. Now, which one is showing or which one is the major biggest blunder for, I can say, reduction of this growth rate? Which one? It is the storage or transportation. Now basic and nododadre, now services sector yadu barutte nodona first agi. First and foremost one, it is trade and repair services. Trade and repair services ಏನು? It is showing a declining trend. Second one, hotel and restaurant, decrease agata, increase agata? Decrease or increase? Decrease. Third one, with respect to railways, decrease or increase? Decrease. Followed by road transportation, water transportation. Road ಏನು? It is road ಮತ್ತೆ water increase ಆಗ್ತದೆ, railways ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ? Decrease ಆಗ್ತದೆ. Understand this? Followed by air transport ಮತ್ತೆ decrease. Air transport as well as railways is showing a declining trend, whereas road transport as well as water transport is showing a increasing trend. Followed by services incidental to transport, nothing but transport related, I can services. For increase or decrease? It is, I can say, 8 ಇದರಿಂದ 4.2 it is decrease. Followed by storage, communication. See, biggest blunder ಯಾವುದು? Biggest blunder is storage, followed by I can say, followed by again communication is also showing a declining trend. Yes, in ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ. Followed by next one, it is real estate. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, real estate, computer, financial services. All this you are aware about real estate. ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, PubAd or public administration. It's a service. Again, major blunder with respect to showing a declining trend. It is ಏನಪ್ಪಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, it is storage related aspects. Done. Okay alva? Example direct questions ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Now after this, the next major important one, it is which one? The contribution done by, I can say, different sectors towards the state's GDP. That is GSDP. Done. Now what is the percentage? ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಟರ್ಷರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಇಯರ್ ಇಸ್ in and around 13. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇದು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು ಇಲ್ಲಿ 13. ವಾಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್? ಮ್ಯಾನುಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚರಿಂಗ್ in and around 20 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ವರಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 20 ಆಯ್ತು, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 13 ಆಯ್ತು. ಎಷ್ಟಾಯ್ತು ಟೋಟಲ್ 33. ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ 67 ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, or 66 plus. It is coming from services sector. ನಾನು ಏನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅದೇ ಫೈನಲ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Done. And this data should be used for next 1 year. I can say, at least 1 year both in your prelims as well as in your mains answer writing part. Yes or no? See, mains ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಮಾರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇದನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು, ಬಾಯ್ಪಾಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಇದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರ ಮಗಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೇಟಾ ಟಿಪ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಅಂತ ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಸರ್ ಅದಂತೆಲ್ಲ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಿ ಆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಅಂಡ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ಡ್ ಹಿಯರ್. Yes or no? See, without touching local issues, the examiner will never convince you saying that you are Karnataka or you are Kannadiga anta. Touch ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ. ಎಸ್ or no? ಅಸಮ ಮಾಡ್ದಂಗೆ ವೋಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಮೋಷನಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನಿಮ್ಮಿಷ್ಟ, ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡಿ. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನಾವು ಸರ್ ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತು. ಈಗ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತು, ಬಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ. ಎವ್ರಿ 100% ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ 100% ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಐ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸೇ 66% ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರ್ತಿರೋದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಟರ್ಷರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆರ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು 20% ಬಂದು ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ, 20% ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸೆಕೆಂಡರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್, ಇನ್ ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ದು 13% ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್. Now which one is showing a declining trend with respect to contribution compared to previous year? Which one is showing a positive trend or increasing trend with respect to the sectoral contribution? ಇದು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಯಾವುದು? It is primary and secondary. ನೋಡಿ primary as well as secondary 13.66 ಇಂದ it is 13.04 ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ. It is decreasing trend. Contribution is decreasing. Nothing but some sector should increase. And which is that sector? Services sector is showing a increasing trend. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ ಮತ್ತೆ 20.92 ಇಂದ ಎಷ್ಟಾಗ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? It is 20.24. ಮತ್ತೆ ಡಿಗ್ರೀಸ್. ಸರ್ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಮಗಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಗಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಟ್ಲೀಸ್ಟ್. From mains point of view, from prelims point of view, decrease, increase you must know. Done? Okay alva? Yes. Next one with respect to services sector. Now with respect to services sector ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ services sector ಬಗ್ಗೆ? Now what is the contribution by the services sector to the total state's GDP? ಎಷ್ಟು? It is 66.72%. 66.72%. Is it showing an increasing trend or decreasing trend? It is showing a increasing trend. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಈಗ? ಗ್ರೋತ್ ರೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ with respect to growth rate it is showing a declining trend. With respect to contribution towards a particular sector ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it is maximum or it is increasing. Confusion ಇಲ್ಲ ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ? Growth rate ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it is negative or it is showing a declining trend, whereas to the total contribution it is increasing. Nothing but agriculture and industry it is, I can say, showing a declining trend. It is showing a declining trend. In ಮಿಕ್ಕಿದ್ ನಂಗೆ ಬೇಕಾ ಇದು? Not at all required because we'll discuss ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ. Services ಏನ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ? Primary, secondary we have discussed. Okay alವಾ? Done? Now sir, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನನಗೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ 1, if the services sector is increasing, increase ಆಗೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣಗಳೇನು? Which one is the reason for showing a increasing trend? ಯಾವ ಸೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ನೋಡಿ ಪಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಯಾವುದು, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್ ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನೋಡಿ. ಎರಡು ಸಾಕು, ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್, ಮಿನಿಮಮ್. Which one online? Which one should I repeat? ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಯಾವ್ದಪ್ಪ? ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಅಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಯಾವ್ದು ಪಟ್ ಅಂತ. ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್. ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಟ್ರೇಡ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Now it is maximum is coming with respect to ಯಾವ್ದು? Maximum is, I can say, the real estate, the professional services. Maximum 38%. 100% ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ maximum percentage is, I can say, real estate, professional services. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ computer related services which is contributing to maximum. Okay ಅಲ್ವಾ? ನೋಡೋಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಈಗ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ರಿಯಲ್ ಎಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಸರ್ವಿಸಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮ್ಯಾಕ್ಸಿಮಮ್ ನೋಡಿ. Yes or no? First one, which is minimum? Minimum ಯಾವುದು? It is water transportation. It is considered to be, I can say, minimum contribution to the field of services. Done? Yes. ಸರ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು ಒರಿಜಿನಲ್ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ತರ ಓದ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಓದಬಾರ್ದು. ಮುಗಿತಲ್ಲ ಮತ್ತಿನೇನಕ್ಕೆ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು ಮತ್ತೆ. ಯಸ್ ಡನ್, ಸಾಕು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ದ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ವಿಚ್ ಹಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಬೈ ಅಕಾಡೆಮಿ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೋರ್ ದನ್ ಸಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ಸ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೋತೀರಿ, ಅಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ರಿಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟೆಡ್ ಬೋತ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರಿಲಿಮ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ವೆಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಇನ್ ಯುವರ್ ಮೇನ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್. Means a section that should be your target. That should be your target. Okay, alva? Yes. Next one. Next major important one. It is per capita income. ಏನು per capita income ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, per capita income. That is, I can say the income which has been produced or generated by the population or individuals in a particular region, we got as what? We call it as per capita income. Sir, per capita income ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the income generated by the total population in a particular area. The total income per ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Ratio. Per is nothing but ratio. What ratio? Per capita income. Per capita income is nothing but individuals. Per is nothing but individuals upon the total population. The individual income generated by the total population in a particular area, we call it as per capita income. Example ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದನ್ನ. Now what is the per capita contribution of Karnataka? ಹೇಳ್ರಪ್ಪ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇನ್ನೆಂಡ ನೋಡಲಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. 2.5 ಲಕ್ಷ, 2 lakhs, yes or no? What about India's per capita income? See, last KPSC exam direct question. Yes or no? ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದು? at 1.5? Wrong. ನೋಡಿ ಇದೇ ಚಾರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮುಗ್ದೋಯ್ತು. ಹೋಪ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್. ಸರ್ ಕತೆ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. 2020 ಆದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದಾನೆ. ಇಂಡಿಯಾದ ಎಷ್ಟು, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಎಷ್ಟು? ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದೇನೋ ಸರ್ ಬರೀ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಚುಯಲ್ಸ್, ನಾವು UPSC ಬರಿತೀವಿ. ಬರೀ ಯಾರು ಬೇಡ ಅಂತಾರೆ? ಎಸ್ ನೋ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದ್ರು ಅದೇ ಬಾಳು, ಅದನ್ನು ಓದಲ್ಲ ಸರಿಗೆ. ಅಲ್ಲೋದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ರಿಟಿಸೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಸರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅನಲಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಎಸ್ ನೋ? ಎಸ್, ದ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಡನ್. ದ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಹೌದಾ ಇಲ್ವೋ? ಅದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಆಗೋದಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಏನೋ ರೀಸನ್ ಬೇಕು. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ 1-2 ವರ್ಷ ಆ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಸ್ವಿಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮನೇಲಿ ಕಾಯ್ತಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಮದ್ವೆ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಲಿ ಅಂತ. ಈ ಕಡೆ ನೀವೇ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್. ನಾವು ಅವಾಗ ಕೇಳಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಒಪ್ಕೊಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಅದು ಒಂಥರ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅಮ್ಮ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಪ ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವರ್ಷ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದ್ ವಾರ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಮ್ಮ ನೀವ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋ ಹಂಗೆ. ಅದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಸಿ. UPSC KPSC ಏನ್ ಕಲಿತಿರೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮಸಿ, ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ವ್ಯೂ, ಅದನ್ನ ಕಲಿಯೋದು. ಓಕೆ, now the contribution. See, there will direct question. ಈ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಡಿಯಾದು ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ 1,85,000 ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ನೋಡಿ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟೆಡ್ ಡೇಟಾ ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಇಂಡಿಯಾಸ್ ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ಪರ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಹಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಜನರೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಟೋಟಲ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. ಟೋಟಲ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್ ಆವರೇಜ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿರೋದು. ಸರ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ 1.80 ಗಳಿಸ್ತಾರ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. We are talking about average. We are talking about average. 1.85, nothing but 85,854 ಅಂತ. 185,854 ಮಗ್ಗಪ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಡೇಟಾ ಎಲ್ಲ. It is 185,854. Done. First one. Second one, what is? Sir, ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. But which is important here? It is the contribution of what? The contribution of, I can say, the Karnataka's. ನೋಡಿ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ per capita income ನೋಡು. Or I can say which is the highest one? It is major important one. I can say it is more than national per capita income. More than national per capita income. Highly important one. It is more than national average with respect to per capita income. ಎಷ್ಟಪ್ಪ ಇವು ನಮ್ಮ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ್ದು? It is 3 ಲಕ್ಷದ or 3,32,926. ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಹೈಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಒನ್. ಬಜೆಟ್ ಡೇಟಾ ನೆನಪಿರ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಡೇಟಾ ನೆನಪಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್. ದ ಪರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಾ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಹೈಲಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಒನ್. ಈ ವರ್ಷ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿ. ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ 3,32,000 ಇನ್ನೇನ್ ಇರೋ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿರಿ. ಬಟ್ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹಂಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, 3,32,000 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ತಂತ್ರಿಸಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಜೈ ಮಂಕಳಿ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿ ನನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ above. Yes, it is 3,32,926. That is 926. 926. You must remember this. You must remember. Now, sir, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ now by how much percentage our Karnataka's per capita income is more? It is more by 79%. Hope you're getting. See, per capita income of India dalli nododadre, which states has highest per capita income? Is it southern states or northern states? Southern states. Is southern state Karnataka specific agi nododadre, it is more by 79%. It is more by 79%. Idu houdalvo? Idu 180 ashte. Namdu double, in and around double. In and around double. Highly important one. Highly important one. It is 79%. 79%. Highly important one. Okay, now 79%. Now idella nimage gottu sir, exam alli question keltara andre basic question keltara. It is basic question will be that is income by the population. Now which month's income is being calculated here? Which month's income is being calculated with respect to per capita income? Is it financial year month or bere dinana or bere month? It is October has been used as a calculation. October has been used. Highly important one. They may be question on this. October has been used for calculation of income. Calculation of income with respect to the per capita income. Per capita income calculate ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಮಂತ್ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಸ್ಯಾಲರಿ ತಗೋತಾರಪ್ಪ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it is October. It is October month. It's October month has been used with respect to the calculation. Okay ಅಲ್ವಾ ಸರ್, ಇದು ನನಗೆ ಕಂಪ್ಯಾರಿಸನ್ ಆಯ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆಗಿದೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದು? ಓಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದು ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು 2022-23 ನೋಡೋದಾದ್ರೆ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ಡ್ ಹೇಳಿ ನೋಡ. ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ ಹಸ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ಡ್ ಬೈ 9.3%. 9.3% or in and around 10% ashte, or less than 10%. It has increased by 9.3%. But compared to all India per capita income nododadre ಎಷ್ಟು ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟ್ increase ಆಗಿದೆ? It has increased by 79%. 79 the percentage. Highly important one. ಸರ್, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇನ್ನೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ವಿಚ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾಟ್ ದ ಲೋಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ರ್ಯಾಂಕಿಂಗ್? Now which is the highest one? Which is the highest ranking state? It is Telangana. State ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ತೆಲಂಗಾಣ, ಇನ್ ಜನರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ it is Delhi. Or Delhi as the highest one, that ranked one. Rank one ಎಷ್ಟು ನೋಡಿ? It is approximate ಆಗಿ 4.5 ಲಕ್ಷ. It is 4.